Welcome to biomechanics, fitting the saddle to the rider. A saddle that fits. Yes, it needs to fit the horse, but how should the saddle fit the rider? I've seen many more riders in a saddle that doesn't fit than I have horses. For a horse, there are plenty of options to adjust the fit of a saddle. For a rider, not so much. We need to be able to balance ourselves over our leg. Balance is a black and white thing. Seemingly small changes can make a world of difference, good and bad. Let's look at the main things you want to consider when trying a saddle. Natural points of contact. The question we want to ask is, does the fit and configuration of the saddle match with the anatomy of the rider's body, and does it support them in both the full and light seat positions? I see so many riders fighting their saddle rather than being supported by it. The saddle must support the rider's body at the seat, thigh, and calf. If any of the three are off, it will negatively affect the entire equation. Let's take a look at saddle configuration. Saddle configuration. The configuration of a saddle includes the seat size and depth, the flap length and positioning, i.e. straight, forward, or double forward, as well as a standard or enhanced knee roll. Changes to the configuration will change the contact points as well as the hip and knee angles of the rider. The need for coinciding joint angles. Some riders have longer legs and shorter torsos, and others the opposite. Each rider's joint angles have the potential to be different, not only based on their height, but based on their overall leg length, as well as the length of their upper leg from hip to knee. The saddle configuration must support the natural angles of the rider's hip and knee joints as they close. It must also place the rider's foot under them in order for them to maintain their balance in a light seat position. If the foot is slightly in front of the rider's knee, they will fall back as a result. Examples: mismatch or match. Here, the seat size is too small, causing the rider to be above the seat rather than in it. The flap angle looks good, but should be reassessed after finding the correct seat size. The length of flap under her upper calf is also good. Be sure that a change in the seat size doesn't also increase the flap size. In this example, the seat is too big for the rider, pushing her to the front of the saddle. Her natural upper thigh angle is great, so we need the flap to match it. This flap does not. I would try a straighter flap to accommodate the rider's anatomy. There is not quite enough flap under her upper calf. The flap length should also be increased to match the length of her lower leg. In this example, we have a match. Here, the rider's seat, upper thigh, and lower leg are all matched by the configuration of the saddle. Stirrup length. Stirrup length plays a small role in hip and knee angles. In general, I agree with the old adage that if the rider hangs their leg in a relaxed position, the bottom of the stirrup should be at their ankle. But depending on the barrel of your horse, you may need to go up for a narrow horse or down for a wide one. We're looking for the rider to effortlessly have contact with the saddle and the horse while remaining in balance, so adjust as needed. Support in the light seats. In the light seat positions, the rider must be able to come up by activating their quadriceps and adductor muscles while not pinching their knees. Without a good connection of their inner thigh to the saddle, this is not possible. For added support, this is where a knee roll made with additional padding can be helpful. The thicker knee roll can prevent the rider's knee from rotating inward. Too much inward rotation disengages the rider's lower leg from the horse. Testing the saddle. While the horse is standing still, you can test your contact points and balance. Once you've determined things seem to be where you want them, you can go on to test the saddle at the walk, trot, and canter. Let's start with the seat. For the seat, I like to have the rider hang their leg long, shimmying themselves into what they feel like is truly the middle of the seat. This is a good way to determine if the seat size and depth are right. Towards the front of the seat, there should not be any pushing of the pommel into the rider's crotch. At the back of the saddle, there should be 3 to 4 fingers behind the rider's bottom. The skirt and knee roll. Set the stirrup length by using the ankle method previously discussed as a starting point. Once in the stirrups, the rider should have effortless contact at their inner thigh, resting over the skirt and into the knee roll. There should not be more than a hand's width between the rider's inner thigh and the saddle. The flap. At their upper calf, the rider should have contact with the bottom third of the flap. At their mid to lower calf, they should have contact with the horse. The bottom of the flap should not come down past the middle of the rider's lower leg. Testing the light seats. Once all the previously mentioned contact points are confirmed in a full seat, the rider should go up to 2 point. This will allow you to test the balance based on the natural contact in the saddle and the angles of the hip and knee joints. Remember, the toe must not move in front of the line of the knee. Many riders learn to incorrectly hold a 2 point due to initial lack of strength or an improperly fitted saddle. Like a person in the gym learning to squat, most people need to be shown how to position their body and what muscles to use to get there. A half squat. The rider's 2 point is basically a half squat, creating coinciding angles in their joints. The rider's bottom must float over the middle of the saddle, not the pommel. Over the pommel. It's common for a rider to gravitate towards hip and knee angles that are too open. This will cause the rider to hold themselves over the pommel. From this position, the most common error becomes falling back behind the motion of the horse. The result then being the rider is behind rather than over their leg. This open hip angle is also a reason for a rider to get left behind at the jump. If their hip is too open or they stand up over the jump, opening their hip angle, they will get left behind. In this open position, the rider's joints cannot absorb the movement of the horse. Summary. The saddle is meant to support the rider. The configuration of the seat, skirt, knee roll, and flap must not conflict with both the anatomical as well as the functional position of the rider's body. Learning to ride is challenging enough. It's important to ensure your tools are not hindering you, but instead they support you. For more, visit our website, helpfulhorsemanship.com, and experience the complete program on rider position, including great tips for practicing both on and off the horse. Thanks for watching.